to the first video of my channel where I will be discussing various topics in literature. I am about to start my postgraduate program in English literature, and I would like to bring you along my journey of learning and discovery. Today I will be introducing my most recent academic interest, dead women and how they function in literature, specifically shown in William Shakespeare's plays. It all started from the 2019 film Ophelia, directed by Claire McCarthy. It is a film adaptation of Shakespeare's Hamlet from the perspective of women characters, filling in the gaps of the story that is left untold in the original play. It portrays the desires of women such as Ophelia and Gertrude by providing more context behind their actions. The film also reimagines Ophelia's death by having her use a potion to fake her death. Having been officially removed from the story through death, Ophelia spends the remainder of the film with the ability to influence other characters' behavior, with the privilege of having little to do with the consequences. It is almost as if, through death, Ophelia gained more power than she had before. This made me think of other instances where the element of death makes Shakespeare's women characters increasingly significant to the plot. For example, when Juliet decides to pretend that she is dead, she is not only standing up for herself against the marriage she doesn't want, but she is also actively trying to build a future with Romeo. It is ironic, to say the least, that a woman with the most autonomy is a woman who no longer exists. Of course, we are talking about times in history where women's rights were yet to be considered, and there weren't many opportunities where a woman's presence could be acknowledged. Within a patriarchal society, having the body of a woman meant that one was confined to a certain social role or expectation. However, upon death, or in other words, the absence of a body, the woman gets a chance to become a subject instead of an object. Frances E. Dolan writes in her article, "Gentlemen, I have one thing more to say," that the text recording the executions of women shows various cases where public executions become the supreme opportunity for women to speak, and that they were able to gain a public voice through the effacement of their bodies. Often, the dying women were described as peacefully leaving their bodies, with words such as sleeping, as opposed to the brutal reality of these executions. In the original play Hamlet, Ophelia's death is described in a similar fashion. The morbid event of her drowning in the lake is not witnessed by the audience, but rather told in beautiful imagery. Her clothes spread wide, and mermaid-like a while they bore her up, as one incapable of her own distress, or like a creature native and endued onto that element. That being said, the fact that Ophelia exists in the state of living death by faking her own demise in the film is a brilliant move for seamlessly introducing a modern woman into the historical context of Elizabethan England, or Denmark for that matter, if we are considering the spatial background of Hamlet. By being both dead and alive, film Ophelia has the agency of being removed from the laws of patriarchy, as well as a living body to wield such power. This leads to more interesting questions on how women's death could be interpreted in Shakespeare's plays. What could be said about the characters who did exercise some sort of agency while they were still very much alive, such as Desdemona from Othello, who was in an interracial marriage which was unthinkable at the time, or Portia from The Merchant in Venice, who took matters into her own hands to save her husband? On that note, that is all I have for today. Thank you for watching, and have a great day.